Hello, it's PlayStation VR, welcome to the channel. We are here today to do some PlayStation VR2 news. We've got small tiny little bit of hope that we might just get AstroBot for PlayStation VR2 as Sony filed new trademarks. We're gonna talk about them, and also we're gonna talk about Crossfire Sierra Squad, which releases tomorrow, and also we're gonna talk a bit about Ghost of Tabor. So today I would like to start maybe from Crossfire Sierra Squad, even though Ghost of Tabor is on screen for now, but that will change in a second. Anyway, let's start from the Crossfire. So somebody asked them, wait, no, I lost it. Somebody asked them what time this will release in UK tomorrow. So this is for my UK friends. They then gave us US time, sadly. But in UK it's 8 AM, which means in Europe probably gonna be in about 7. Is it? No, you 1 hour late, 9 AM. Now I'll be at work at this time, but I definitely gonna check out the game after the work. If you're asking me if I got early access to the game for the review, well, nobody asking, but I just gonna talk about it. Sadly, I do not have contact for the studio, so no, I'm gonna have to buy it and download it and then play it just at the same time as you. But this is definitely the game I want to play, and I was waiting for a very, very long time, something good. So I do hope it's there, unless I come back from work. I switch, well, when I come back from work I won't be able to play it straight away, but unless I come back from work, switch it on and my computer, check out the reviews and it's really shit, then I probably won't bother playing it, but otherwise I do hope it will deliver after the Firewall Ultra fiasco. Now, moving on to the other story, let's just speak a bit about Ghost of Tabor. So the game sadly got delayed on PSVR2, and this is, maybe it comes from Firewall Ultra bad launch, because the developers basically delays it because of the bugs that they want to squish. So I'm gonna play the audio this time. I'm gonna pause the music here just so you can hear it nicely. So yeah, that's what they're saying.
We understand that there's many players waiting for releases on other platforms, and I get it, these are two of the greatest VR headsets in existence. However, as many of you know, in this day and age, so many companies are releasing half-baked games loaded with bugs, and we refuse to follow in those same footsteps. We know our game also has bugs and issues, and just throwing more platforms into that fire without squashing what we already have just wouldn't be fair to you guys. This is why we're pushing the release date for other platforms back until 2024. I'll be honest, we don't have a date or quarter right now, but I can assure you that this team is busting their backs day in and day out to make the best VR shooter that you are ever going to play. We're going to continue to be transparent and listen to the community feedback. Just make sure to follow our socials if you want to be kept in the loop. And maybe even feel free to join the monthly Discord AMAs where you can hop up on stage and ask the Combat Waffle team directly any question that you want. Thanks again everyone for your continued support. Seriously, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. We understand that there's many players waiting for...
Okay, so that's that. Now, I'm thinking as well, Pico 4 and PSVR 2. For many studios, I don't think they are a priority. Anyway, I think the Quest is when everyone wants to be. PC is kind of behind, maybe PSVR 2 as well. I don't think that PSVR 2 got enough exciting games to look forward to. Now, I love my PSVR. I think it's an amazing piece of technology. But content-wise, yes, we got some good games. I'm not saying that. We got some good games. But it's always good to be excited for something. You got Resident Evil 4 coming, Firewall Ultra already disappointed. Crossfire is out tomorrow, and then what? So, I mean, there is some, Bulletstorm VR. Maybe, yeah, that looks good. But, from the bigger games, so maybe this is gonna lead me to another story, because maybe finally something will happen. And maybe Sony will actually support PSVR 2 nicely. Speaking about PSVR 2 support, my DualSense for PS5, something going wrong with it. It charges whenever it wants. It's not the cable, it's the controller itself. Sometimes it will charge, sometimes it's not. So I'm assuming it's the battery. But I was thinking what I would do if this happened to my VR Sense controllers. Because, DualSense, I can go shop and buy new one. With the VR Sense, I would have to mess around, send it to Sony probably, wait forever for it to get it fixed, because that's how little support there is for PSVR 2 that you even cannot buy a spare controller, even though we know that it's easy to break VR controller just by bashing a wall when you cannot see it. I know you can set up the Guardian, but it's not fast enough, I'm telling you. Okay, so anyway, moving on to the next story, I want to talk about AstroBot now. Because this is the European Union Intellectual Property Office, which is the place where you trademark your shit. Not actual shit, you know. If you go to toilet, don't try to contact them and say I want to trademark this poo. That's not work like that. But Sony did that with AstroBot. We've got 2 trademarks they filed for AstroBot. We don't know the name. All we know is that they fill it in 0189177753, 01A and 0189177718, whatever that means, I don't know. So the name AstroBot, date of, so it's got down there, trademark on 25th this month. Now, the trademark is for everything, but of course, they trademark it for virtual reality game software as well. Downloadable virtual reality game software, augmented reality game software, video game software, downloadable to mobile phones, tablets, basically everything. And second one is as well virtual reality software, downloadable virtual reality game, blah 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 blah. Which leads me to think, hopefully, crossing a finger tightly, one of them, or maybe both, that this game will actually come and release. We need something bigger on PSVR 2 and something to look forward to. AstroBot is definitely type of game that I would love to play on PSVR 2 because I just like to sometimes chill out and play games. I don't need to stand up and wave around and get super immersed. I would love to have just even flat games playable in 3D. How much more use I would get from my PSVR 2. There is a program on PC called Warp X, and that just changes the flat games to 3D games. You can have geometry 3D, which is a bit heavy, because of course it uses geometry to make 3D rendering, kind of like PSVR 2 do, and also you can have normal, cheaper 3D, which is still cool 3D, which don't use pretty much any resources, and it works like the 3D TV used to work back in past. So I'm assuming they could have done something like that on PlayStation 5. You have to diversify your PSVR to use to everything, games, videos, YouTube, flat games playable in 3D, do all that. Don't just sit there and give us some indie games. But anyway, that's me ranting here. I do hope we're gonna get the AstroBot on PlayStation VR 2. That would be awesome. Of course, stay tuned to the channel. As soon as I got more info, I will let you know. The trademark that was trademark, it's a step in right direction. Ages ago, I did a video about their job listings. They do working on some 3D action game. Maybe that's VR. Of course, that's probably AstroBot. But anyway, let me know what you think. Is that trademark for AstroBot virtual reality game? Or are we yet again, PSVR 2 owners, we are all set up for yet another disappointment? Okay, that's it from me for today. Thanks for watching. It was nice. Shout out to all the patrons. You are all awesome. I appreciate you. And I'll be back eventually one day, probably tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm gonna have enough time to play Crossfire to review it tomorrow. If not, I try to do it day after. It's all depending on time. I'm starting my full week on at work now stretch, so we see. But anyway, for now, that's it. See you later. Bye, 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 bye.